We're getting Malcolm. We're getting Malcolm. He looks so sexy. Can't wait to see him. Hey, everybody. It's Lliy. And welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, April 5th, 2026. I am a fan of Malcolm. If you can't tell. He looks so good too, so beefy in that preview. Sometimes when I think of Malcolm, I still think as he's like right when he first came on the show. Like he's frozen in my mind in about 1994. And then I see him and I'm like, that's a man. He was a boy then. He's a man now. And you know me, I'm not big on spoilers, but several weeks ago when the news first came out that he was going to be on the show, I heard a rumor that he's coming back to Genoa City to find out that Holden is his son. That he's the son that Malcolm and Stephanie had, which lines up perfectly with the fact that Holden really has no past. So I don't know anything for sure, but I can just imagine that that's the direction this is going to take, because also we saw in the previews that Malcolm is meeting up with Stephanie right away. And they were even kind of talking about how they met, giving us that little bit of backstory, which is consistent. Drusilla did set Malcolm up with Stephanie as a way to shift interest away from her. Oh, I talked all about that in my Malcolm Winters retro recap. This is the week to go watch that, Y&R chatters, if you have not already, because I talk about Malcolm's whole romantic history, including Drusilla, his crush on his brother's wife. Scandalous. And that's not even half of it. I mean, I talked about the infamous cold medicine night when Lliy was born. That would make Holden and Lliy, what, half brother and sister? Ooh, that is so juicy. I love when we get like these fresh twists on the past. I also in that video talked about his relationship with Olivia, because I mean Malcolm is kind of like a spiritual father to Nate. I talked about Keisha and the AIDS storyline, and yes, I did talk a little bit about Stephanie, but I have to say probably the best feature of that video was talking about Malcolm and his relationship with Neil and his incredible eulogy at Neil's funeral. I just thinking back about that video, I think I recorded it a month ago, and I remember having such a hard time getting through it for some reason. It was just so emotional thinking about Neil's death and what a shock it was, and also what a wonderful tribute it was at the same time. And it feels so relevant right now because, you know, Malcolm Winters is a huge part of Neil's legacy. And so if you do have some spare time this week, you have got to go check that out at yrchat.com or just find the video on YouTube. Now is the perfect time to dig and dive into Malcolm. He is going to rock Genoa City's world. I can just feel it. Because that's his pattern. He comes into town, he drops a little something, and then he leaves again. And we all know he's not coming back for nothing this time. He is here for a reason. And so the question is, what is the secret that he's bringing with him? Instead of a welcome home, Lliy got read the riot act this week. Devon, Nate, even Phyllis, all of them just dug right into her and her motives for letting everyone think that she could be in danger when she was really just kicking it at a luxury hotel for the past month or more. And of course, we all know that the real life reason behind the exit was Crystal Khalil's maternity leave. But, you know, let's pretend, because that's what we're here for, pretending. And so we're going to have to dig into what Lliy's motives might have been. And I guess it was really twofold. Number one, Lliy wanted to teach Kane a lesson. And number two, she wanted to acquire Chancellor in this deal with the devil with Victor that he has already gone back on. And Devon really hit the roof over both of those things. He could not believe that Lliy would do all of this and give Victor a chance to burn her twice. We don't need Chancellor, says Devon. Could you even believe that? Devon stood right there before the portrait of Catherine Chancellor and said, forget about Chancellor Industries. We don't need it. We got enough money. Yeah, you got enough money, Devon, because Catherine left it all to you. I'm surprised Catherine's portrait didn't fall right off the wall. Forget about Chancellor Industries. I mean, I'm thinking about all this fighting we've been doing over Chancellor Industries, and Devon is the one person in town who really should want it more than anyone. He's living in Catherine's house, on Catherine's dime. The very least he could do is get in there and fight for her company. Phyllis also had a chance to get her digs in to Lliy. And, you know, she made some decent points. Why exactly did Lliy feel the need to take this extreme measure to teach Kane a lesson by doing something underhanded herself? It's kind of hard to be on your high horse when, you know, you're trying to teach somebody a lesson and doing something dirty in order to do it. Phyllis actually suggested that Lliy was jealous of her and Kane. And maybe that's true. It could be. I mean, I have a feeling that Lliy is going to start to feel bad for all of this and start to want him back, especially now that she can't have him. Phyllis finally got her portrait on the wall. Yay! That was the moment I've been waiting for. So what do you guys think of the portrait? I am surprised it wasn't a nude. I mean, really? Don't you think it would have been a little more Phyllis-like to have put a nude photo of herself up on the office wall? Or maybe a half nude? Maybe a photo that sort of strategically covers all of the good parts? That felt like it would be more of a Phyllis move to me. And that really would have ticked Victoria off. And Victor too. Oh, but I am really loving specifically the Victoria versus Phyllis rivalry. Okay, so Victoria returned from Milan, not with Summer, but with a strongly worded letter from Summer. Wow, what a twist! A letter! I mean, you know how much young people these days enjoy sitting down with a pen and paper. and writing out their thoughts. Did Victoria stand there hovering over Summer while she wrote it? That's what I'm imagining. Victoria standing right behind her at the writing desk, watching her, critiquing the cursive. Well, the letter basically said the exact same thing that all of the text messages have said, which is, you're bad, I'm done, goodbye. And then Phyllis showed the letter to Daniel, and he said almost the same thing, although it didn't seem quite as final. But then Phyllis had her greatest conversation of the week, and it was with Sharon. And Sharon really said all the same things that everyone else has been saying, but she said them much nicer and much softer and with much more empathy and in a more philosophical way. And Phyllis responded with all of the same things she's really been saying, but in a nicer and softer and more empathetic and more philosophical way. It wasn't really any new information. It was more just that there was a mutual respect between Phyllis and Sharon, a mutual understanding now. And here's the thing. I mean, I see both sides of the argument. Phyllis was traumatized by the Martin kidnapping. She was marginalized by specifically the male power players in the town. And so she's presented with this opportunity to take an ounce of power for herself, and she took it. Boom! Live with it. But she also didn't do it legally, you know. She totally stole Newman Enterprises. She totally freaking stole it. Although if she hadn't done it, Kane was about to. Somebody was going to steal it. Just so happened that Phyllis beat everyone else to the punch, beat Kane to the punch. And I don't know, maybe Kane still will manage to get one over on Victor, because right at the tail end of Friday's show, Kane was hiring Holden to make a move on Victor. Okay, I'm all for that, but what I really need right now is some action. Everybody's doing a lot of talking, but I'm not seeing a lot of action. And specifically, and most of all, Victor. Victor keeps saying that he is going to get Newman Enterprises back, and he is somehow going to use Chancellor to do it. Now he wants Claire to come work with him and Victoria. On what? What is the plan? Victor keeps saying, I'm going to do it. And Victoria keeps saying, oh, you know my father. He never loses. He's going to get the company back. But when? And how? Come on, chess master Victor. It is time to make a move. I do not like the version of Victor who is threatening to throw Nikki's stuff out on the front lawn. I don't like that at all. But I do like the version of Nikki that is living at the hotel. And I like the version of Nikki who eats French fries. Except she didn't eat a single one. She ordered a whole plate of French fries and ate exactly none of them. I didn't even see her chewing. I don't even know if she picked one up. I mean, the whole French fry thing was such an obvious plot hole. Nikki Newman, I'm going to tell you right now, is not going to walk into society and order a plate of French fries. I don't believe it, not for a second. I also don't believe that she was so ready to back off of the teach Victor a lesson plan with Jack the second she found out that Patty was involved. Oh, Patty's in town? Well, then that makes me rethink everything. Although, I don't know, she seemed like she might be able to get back on board with it because Jack says he has formulated the perfect plan. No, he says he will formulate the perfect plan. He's not there yet. Again, I mean, I feel like I just really need some action here. I need somebody to do something and not just talk. Like, please, yes, Jack, you're formulating the perfect revenge plan. Let's put that on the front burner and let that play out. Here's what I think. I think Jack and Nikki are going to pretend to be dating. That's my theory. I think they're going to do that to drive Victor crazy and accomplish absolutely nothing. It's going to accomplish nothing. It will be great. And I mean, Jack is going to be free to do it because Diane just keeps pushing him away. Yeah, Diane is the saddest part of all of this. She really doesn't know if Jack even is who she thinks he is anymore. Diane did make an interesting point this week that by the time she walked into the yacht bedroom, Jack seemed okay. He seemed like he was in his right mind. So I guess the drugs must have burned off by then. The drugs conveniently affected his judgment only for that short amount of time, and then they burned off by the time Diane got in the room. So it does add to the believability of why she's taking such a hard stance with him. I kind of like it. I'm kind of enjoying the crisis of conscience. And also the crisis of conscience that it's creating for Kyle, too. Kyle is right there, ready to defend Jack. He says Jack is the greatest man he's ever known, the most upstanding man he's ever known. And then Diane said, well, have you considered that maybe your dad just isn't who you think he is? Wow. Patty really managed to rock the happy little Abbott household while she was apparently rocking Jack's world, according to her. Tessa and Mariah were sorta reunited for all of 5 minutes, and it feels to me like Mariah is already pushing Tessa away again. Why? Why couldn't Tessa have gone with Mariah to check into Fairview or whatever psychiatric facility she's going to? It doesn't seem like a problem for me. Get a babysitter for Aria, and then Tessa can be there like they planned, instead of Mariah just dropping it on her at the very last minute. Sorry, changed my mind. You can't go. It just feels like more of the same to me. Like Tessa can never get quite comfortable. Mariah always gets to make the rules. And Tessa always has to accept them. Till death do them part. And then the second Mariah walks out the door, Daniel walks in. And he's there to comfort her. I'm sorry, but no. N-O, no. Tessa and Daniel cannot have this months-long connection, seal the deal with sex, and then just flip back to him being her marriage counselor. You can't go back. You cannot go back to friends after romance and love has been put on the table and sex? No. I love this story. I love that it's striking a nerve for me. Those are the best stories, the ones that just make me go, wait a minute. That's my favorite, when I really feel it. And of course, it helps that Danny was involved this week. I love that Danny showed up and he saw the chemistry between them and said, let's all go to Barcelona. Why not? Yeah, Danny. Let's all go to Barcelona. Like it's a vacation. Let's play a private concert and see the world. Because that's not romantic or anything. What should Tessa choose? Stay at home worrying about wife's mental troubles, or go to Barcelona with hot guy who I said I love and have great sex with? What's a girl to do? They do not call it Sin City for nothing. Nick and Adam are both deep in the sin, while Sharon and Chelsea are sitting back home wringing their handkerchiefs. So this week, Nick has moved on to hard drugs. This is getting dark. Nick has moved on from pills to now powder. This is terrible. It's so hard to watch him this way. He's doing such a good job. Justin Romero is doing such a good job because his mouth is like always moving weird, and then his eyes are all rolled back in his head. It's like 1 minute he's falling asleep, falling into a drug daze on the phone with Sharon, and then the next minute he is jacked up, ready to pound Matt Clark into hamburger. It's scary. When is Adam gonna dig deeper? Like, when's he gonna realize something is not right here? Really not right here. Not just like normal level Nick rage, but more. I guess Adam is just all in on the task at hand, which is to get Riza to connect him directly with Matt Clark, which Adam is very close to doing. April Fool's surprise, Matt Clark is in Vegas and he's Riza's partner in more ways than one. Okay, Adam and Matt are both kissing up on her now. Yuck! That means Adam is kissing the same lips that Matt is kissing? That is dedication to the cause. But is Adam going to have to sleep with her in order to get what he really came for? That's the question. Because Riza is aggressive. She is not going to just settle for kisses for long. She is ready to lay him out on that poker table. Oh. I loved that poker game. The best players on the strip. Every single one of them, 20 years old. I was like, what? Who are these babies? Adam walks in, all Adam, and then we parade in these 3 other chumps, practically teenagers. I mean, really? How hard could it even be to fleece these little lambs? Noah and Sienna are stuck back at home fielding these text messages. And Sienna had a moment this week where she seemed to have a premonition of danger. Oh no, I'm not talking about Matt Clark. I'm talking about Audra. And Sienna is right to have that premonition. Audra has got her sights set on Noah. And there ain't no going back. Forget about Kyle. Forget about Nate. Audra's target is clear. And if we are to take Esther's tea leaves as a compatibility test, foam or no foam? That is the question, my friends. Audra and Noah both like foam in their latte. You know, foam is passion. Foam is chemistry. Foam is volatile. Sienna prefers no foam in her latte. No foam is stability, predictability, calm. So which is the best true match? Does foam attract foam? Or does foam need no foam for balance? That is our poll question for the week at yrchat.com. Noah and Sienna or Noah and Audra? The monsters keep monstering. Who said that? Monsters. They keep monstering. If you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com to find out. While you're there, say a happy birthday to Sharon W. April 8th. Oh, happy birthday, Sharon W. It's so nice to be able to wish you a happy birthday. I love your comments. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday celebration. Maybe you could head on over to Genoa City and celebrate your birthday at the new shadow room that we are surely going to be getting. Russell says, there it is again. Noah is going to recreate the shadow room in Genoa City. I get that they want to use that set more, but please, please, please make some changes so that it seems like a different place. If it's identical, like Kane's train was, I will be disappointed. There is no way that the front door would be the same or the bar. It would be harder to recreate the shadow room in a new city than it would be to open one with the same vibe and furnish and decorate it with what you can find in the new city. Russell, I mean, didn't you know Noah's got a shadow room on every continent? Let me tell you, if they just pick up that whole set and plop it right down in Genoa City and say, oh, it's just in Genoa City right now, I am gonna be mad. It was ridiculous when they did it with the Kane train, and it would be ridiculous now. Plus, on top of it, I don't love that set. It is dark and it is dank. It reminds me of the underground. Ugh. Maybe I just don't like bar sets. I mean, that's what bars are. They are. Some of them are very dark and dank, and I just don't like the vibe. I do not like the shadow room vibe. I would way more have something upscale like the Glam Club. Why couldn't he recreate the Glam Club in Genoa City? Bring that back. I mean, the Shadow Room portends darkness. Shadows, darkness. Just what I want in the spring. Tavi says, I'm glad the writers remembered Audra's miscarriage. It made me emotional when Noah grabbed her hand and said he was so sorry he wasn't there for her. I know, right? That was such a little moment in time where we learned that Noah and Audra had this whole relationship in Europe and that she actually had gotten pregnant and miscarried, and I think she never even told him, right? He didn't find out until later. And so now he's in this position of realizing that this happened without his knowledge. He wasn't there for her. He almost had a child. That is certainly going to be a pull that will continue between them. Connie says, I'm having a hard time warming up to the new Noah, and I'm not sure why, but I do know that I do not want him with Audra. They are lacking chemistry and passion, and I prefer him with Sienna. So they are lacking foam is what you're saying? Noah's foam needs Sienna's no foam. I think, I tend to lean toward whatever I've had more time to get used to. So I guess my mind goes, well, I've had more time to get used to Noah and Sienna, so I guess I'm pulling for that. But at the same time, I love Audra so much that I just want her to have what she wants. So I'm torn. Heather Kay says, I don't like Noah with Sienna. She looks like his mom to me. It's awkward. I think he has tons of chemistry with Audra. The problem is that everyone does. Audra needs a good grounded guy like Nate or Noah. She needs them to believe in her even more than she believes in herself. Audra always tries to sabotage anything good in her life. If she finds more people like Sally who won't let her bail and holds her up to a higher standard, maybe she would learn to love and soften up. Wow, Heather Kay, that's just a really smart, intelligent, intuitive comment about Audra's character. I'm so impressed with that. Yeah, I think there's a certain level of balance that really works. If this were, real life, that is, you're so right that she kind of needs someone to hold her up to that higher standard and balance her out so that she doesn't go nuclear. Of course, it is a soap and I do love it when she goes nuclear. Oh, this is great from Connie, who says, Billy and Sally are off to see Jill. And I am wondering if this is going to be a guest appearance for Jess Walton or the end days for the character of Jill. I am dreading the idea of another character dying off screen. Last week, one of the soap anniversary articles mentioned Jill Foster Abbott is the longest running and only remaining original character. Jess Walton has played the character since 1987. Selfishly, I want her to stay as long as she can, but I also want a proper goodbye for Jill. We had such a beautiful memory and endearing moment with Jean/Catherine's last scene, and Jess/Jill's scene should be no less. Well, Connie, do we know for sure that she is making an appearance? I don't know. I hadn't heard that she was actually coming back. I suppose I just imagined that it was going to be, them saying that they went off and then coming back on screen and telling us all about how it went, including, how Snapper's doing. I've just gotten used to everything about this being off screen. But I think you're really zeroing in on something that needs to be addressed, and I was thinking about it this week. Why are we killing Jill? why is that happening? Why is Jill dying off screen and it's like no big deal? It's sort of just a plot device for Billy and Sally. It's not right. There's something about it that's just really unsettling to me. What is Jess Walton's contract status? Is she still on recurring? Is she still a contract player? Is she coming back or not? But certainly, since 1987 for Jess Walton, and even longer since the character. I mean, the character is one of the original characters of the show. So we cannot keep going on with this off-screen she's dying moment. We need to bring her back on screen and resolve this somehow. Or you're right, we need to, actually say a goodbye. It either needs to be, oh, she's fine, or it needs to be a goodbye. But we cannot continue to have our longest running character on the show, oldest character on the show, dying quietly off screen, being mentioned as an afterthought. I will not stand for it any longer. New topic. T. Nicole says, ooh, another Spider and Riza kiss. I have to pause there because it's almost not Adam and Riza. It's Spider and Riza. I mean, it kind of does feel like he's pretending to be, he's this different person. It's this alter ego. It's not, maybe that's how he's going to get out of it. It's not Adam who's kissing up on another woman. It was Spider. T. Nicole says, this pairing feels juicy with Chelsea back in Genoa City with Connor. I wonder what Spider will do when Riza makes the move to undo the buttons on his shirt. Yeah, I mean, he is not gonna, she's not gonna be able to accept kisses for long. Kisses might be one thing, but she's going to want more. I have a feeling Matt or something is going to interrupt it, though. He cannot possibly go all the way through with sleeping with her, can he? Brent says, who's buying that someone like Riza has a sexual history with Matt? Adam, sure, but Matt? Gross. No kidding. I know. I was like Riza is such a bombshell. She is like all sex pot waiting to boil over. And Matt is such a dork. He's barely menacing half the time. Most of the time he's just hilarious. Yeah, and I just cannot imagine those two having any chemistry at all. Riza is sizzling and Matt is slithering. It just doesn't work. Russell says, Adam isn't as good at reading people as he thinks he is, or he's really lost his edge. Nick's twitchy, on-edge, short-fused Jonesan behavior is obviously more than just an itch to get Matt Clark. Maybe it's because Nick is his brother and Adam can't imagine he might be becoming an addict, but he is missing some obviously red flags. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does. I just think we can only assume Adam just has got his mind set on Riza and like his whole own moral conflict that must be going on in his mind, and he's just not attuned to the specific signs that really are right there in front of him. Daisy says Adam and Riza may end up working together to stop Matt in his tracks. And with them working so closely, Chelsea might think she has something to worry about, something that may end up with Adam and Chelsea separating. And then Riza may move to Genoa City to be closer to her new love interest, Nick, not Adam. But Chelsea won't realize that until she's said things to Adam she's not sure she can take back. Ooh, twist. Yeah, you can bet Riza will end up moving to Genoa City after all of this. Oh, no doubt about it. I kind of wonder if it will be Sienna out, Riza in. Diana says the scenes with Nick in the hotel in Vegas were excellent. Joshua Morrow is doing such a great job with this addiction storyline. We got a new set when he went to the bathroom and looked at himself in the mirror. It was very intense when we saw the reflection and the look in his face. His conversation with Sharon and Chelsea on the phone was very good, as it wasn't overdone and was realistic as to show how he acted and spoke. I enjoyed the scene with Adam playing cards and his reward kiss from Riza for playing so well. Y&R has really stepped it up with a very compelling storyline. This is very much appreciated. That scene, Diana, in the mirror with Nick was so intense. I screen capped it if you want to see it. I mean, like the way he was holding his head and sort of looking up at himself into the mirror, it was menacing. It was dark. It's Nick in a way that we haven't really seen Nick before, and he's been dark before, but this just, it's like everything on steroids, you know? I mean, it's like, he is really, really ratcheted up. And yeah, I agree. These Vegas scenes are really good. Kamna says, love, love, love the sharp writing on Y&R lately. Not sure which was my favorite this week. Lliy referring to Phyllis's fading allure. Phyllis telling Lliy she's no Virgin Mary. Or Matt Clark striding in and saying, April Fools. Yeah, the Matt moment was funny. And it was perfect for the April Fool's Day episode. That was really clever of Y&R. That fading allure line really struck with me too, because I was like, ooh, I can't believe you just said that. I can't believe Phyllis let her get away with that without saying fading allure. Ooh, rude. Diane K says, why does Phyllis think she is a success? A success at what? Stealing someone else's company? At alienating her family? Making everyone in town hate her? She did nothing to build Newman. Yes, Diane K. I feel that. I do feel that, because that is a very real, like, I don't know, on the surface read of the whole thing. You kind of go, well, there's reality and then there's soaps, and we let, it's sort of all normal in soap land, but in the world of reality, yeah, all she did was steal. But Heather K says, I think Phyllis is right. If any guy does this, then it's all fine and just business. Their children and family support them. She's getting such wrath for being at least one step faster than all the men who have screwed her over, including Billy, Kane, and Victor. She tried to work with all of them. They did not give her any loyalty, so why should she give them any back? That's great, Heather Kate, because one thing, she did try to work with all of them. I mean, she was practically begging them, especially Kane, for months. And none of them really wanted to work with her or worked with her for very long. And so there is that. But I also really love your point that Phyllis is getting alienated by her children for doing really not that much, more or less than what Victor has done. And yet Victoria is running around town kind of on the Victor apology tour, or the Victor justification tour at least. So it's like Phyllis's children disown her for her actions, and yet Victor's family supports him, has to go around town justifying it to everyone. It's certainly a contrast there, isn't it? It's certainly a hypocrisy there, isn't it? Naomi says, I understand the concept of asymmetrical clothing styles, but the white jacket Victoria is wearing is giving me anxiety. Yeah. It was like, did she miss button? Sharon W. says, I appreciated that Victoria defended Victor to Nikki. She told her mom that if Jack has problems with Diane, then the problem is with Jack. And Gary says, yeah, but I found it outrageous that earlier in Victoria hearing about the kidnapping of Jack by her father, she said, Mom, can't you give Dad a break? Can't you? Yeah, he kidnapped him, but You know, can't you give him a break? Gary also says, God bless the child who suspected the Nikki Billie Holiday connection. Yes, that was kind of a fun moment. Noah giving Nikki the Billie Holiday record. Who knew? It makes sense, actually. I feel it. I feel like Nikki could be a Billie Holiday fan. But it was driving me nuts that that record did not come out of the bag. She just lifted only like the top 2 inches of it out of the bag and then pushed it back down. Like, thank you. I'll cherish it forever. Like, you didn't even look at it. I am wondering if, okay, Noah said that it was a recording from her playing at the club he once owned. So maybe it was fake. Maybe that was just an in-world kind of pretend thing, and that's why they didn't show the record. Or it's a real record and they just didn't have the rights to show the cover. I'm not sure, but I loved the moment. I loved the idea of the moment, but not actually seeing the album cover was driving me nuts. Oh, here's another thing. Diana says Nate should be a lot more mad at Victoria than he was. Victoria could have let Nate in on the secret about Lliy not really being kidnapped. She let him believe that his cousin was in danger. I guess Nate didn't learn his lesson the first time when he dated Victoria, and the same thing happened. If I remember correctly, Victor came between them, as Victoria is always loyal to her dad over everyone else. That was such a letdown. It was like one brief and mild conversation of Nate questioning Victoria over why she didn't tell him what was going on with Lliy and Victor. But I mean, it's like he just accepted her explanation so easily. He didn't really press her. You're right, Diana. I mean, Victor came between them the first time. You would think that, he would be over this. He really, really just let it slide. I thought that was going to be much bigger than it was, and it just turned out to be such nothing. Naomi says, Nate says, Mariah clearly has mental health challenges. What an understatement. She hallucinates, fixates, and follows through on what the voices in her head tell her. I don't blame Abby for being worried about what Mariah might do next time. Yeah, I mean, as a Y&R fan, I think it's fine. I think Y&R is not going to make Mariah have another mental break. I feel like we are in the phase of rebuilding Mariah. So, like, as a fan, I'm not worried about Mariah. But if I were Abby and Devon, I would be worried about the woman who kidnapped my son and basically got away with it. Because she took care of him. She gave him ice cream and pancakes the whole time. He was fine. He had fun. It's no big deal. It is not a crime if it's, it's not kidnapping if the kid's having fun. Oh, last week I asked you guys, should Tessa be with Mariah or Daniel? 62% of you pick Daniel. Sue W says, I am not interested in Taraya anymore. All the love, marriage, Aria, stand by your wife, etc. angsty stuff just doesn't soapy connect with me for these two. Yeah, Sue W, that's exactly, my thought of it all. It's like, Mariah and Tessa are no fun to watch right now. Daniel and Tessa have the hot chemistry. They're fun to watch. They're playing songs, going to Barcelona. As a viewer, like, yeah, my brain wants that. But I will say, although the majority vote went to Daniel, the majority comments go to Mariah. Stephen voted that Tessa should be with Mariah, not even close. She's struggling, but she still knows kidnapping is wrong, and she's willing to take responsibility for it. That matters. Daniel in recent history has been far too comfortable looking the other way when it comes to kidnapping. After what happened to his wife, that should be a deal breaker. Daniel steps aside. Mariah steps up. And Marianne V also voted for Mariah. I like Tessa with Daniel too, but she's in love with Mariah longer and deeper, and they have a child together. Tessa can still be friends with Daniel. And Russell says Mariah and Tessa's goodbye was very sweet. To see them interacting again, like Tessa said, she recognizes Mariah again, was good. I liked it. I liked it because it was obvious how much it meant to both of them. And I jumped off of the Mariah and Tessa train just a little bit too early. It was like right at the moment I gave in to Daniel and Tessa, the tide started turning back to Mariah and Tessa. But I just wonder how long it will last. Final comment comes from Sue W, who says, I read that B&B is launching an app with their first 37 seasons, all episodes, along with bloopers, extra scenes, auditions, etc. Not sure of the cost, but to subscribe even short term for those who want to revisit or watch old shows for the first time, that is so great. Y&R needs to do this. Oh, I had no idea about this, Sue W. So I looked it up. The Bold and the Beautiful app, often called BBTV, is a dedicated streaming platform launched on March 23rd, 2026, featuring over 9,000 episodes from 37 seasons, including director's cuts, bloopers, and behind-the-scenes content. It's available as a subscription service for $5.99 a month or $49.99 a year to watch on demand. That is like wow to the revolutionary scale. Because, that has to be the precedent. We have long said, where are the old soap opera episodes? You can see old General Hospitals on SoapNet. There are other ways to. I've seen old soaps on TV at the gym. So I know that there must be some kind of deals that other soaps have that the CBS soaps just didn't get. It's like, it almost is like anything CBS has been locked behind a vault, and now that vault is going to be open for the Bold and the Beautiful. Well, you can almost bet that is a pilot. You can almost bet that they are going to see how all that goes for the Bold and the Beautiful. And if it works out for B&B, you can bet that's what they're going to do with the Y&R library. And it's so smart because it is so much content that would be available to watch. Would you guys watch it? I don't know if it would be the Bold and the Beautiful episodes are half-hour long. So would that affect the price if the Y&R episodes are an hour long? Would you buy it? Let's just say it's $50 a year, or what they say, $5.99 a month. Would you buy a Y&R old episode app, YR TV, if they offered it? I kind of feel like, well, the one downside is that it's an app. I wouldn't want to watch an app. Do you guys, are there people who actually sit and watch Y&R on their phone? Like, I would need it to be a website that I could go to, or I guess you could play an app on your TV though too. This is my level of technological advancement. Yeah, you're right. I guess you can put an app on your TV, Allie. But I watch everything on my laptop. So I just think, okay, well, it would need to be a website I could go to and press play. But $50 a month? I will say my Y&R card is pretty full at the moment, but it would be impossible for me to turn down $50 to have a year of being able to go back and watch classic Y&Rs. Yeah, for me, sold. Oh boy, that feels like a Y&R chat. I cannot believe all of those episodes are going to be available for Bold and the Beautiful, and just the idea that that could be true for The Young and the Restless is amazing. Amazing. I will say, if you guys are interested in old YNR content, I mean, there's like 18 years, coming up on 19 years worth of old YNR chat episodes on YouTube. I mean, it's all there from the very beginning, from the very first YNR chat, from the very first time I turned on the camera and said YNR out loud and admitted to the world that, oh, I'm a soap fan. I mean, YouTube was only 3 years old then, I think. Incredible, just incredible. If you guys are interested in you know, old YNR chats, that can fill the gap before YNR comes out with YRTV. And I'm really doing a lot to build up my retro recap library. I feel very inspired by the old episodes of YNR. I think probably specifically because I'm writing book 2 of the Fauna and the Flora. The Fauna and the Flora book 1 was very much inspired by those Bill Bell early 90s episodes, and so I continue to seek inspiration from there. And so I think that's sort of what's making my mind think about old stories and you know, just that old style of storytelling. That's how I wrote the Fauna and the Flora. That's kind of how my brain still, that's the kind of drama that my brain is still drawn to. So if you have a chance, go check out the retro recap library on Malcolm Winters, Drusilla Winters. I did a recap on the Marco storyline, which is incredibly similar to what is going on now with Patty and Jack. I did a retro recap on Patty Williams, did a retro recap on Paul Williams. There's just, I think I've got maybe like a dozen videos there, and I'm going to continue to try to grow that library as long as I feel inspired. If you guys have any topics that you think I should cover in a retro recap, I am definitely open to that. And also, if you're looking for additional things to check out, the Fauna and the Flora audiobook is available. That's a perfect springy read. I'm sure that you guys are probably on spring break right now, some of you. So if you're looking for a little something to pop into your earbuds and listen to, the Fauna and the Flora is narrated by me. All of the voices done by me, with an original song by me too. And you can find that at restlessforest.com. Everything else is right there still at yrchat.com. We're chatting about the daily episodes, got lots of daily photos that get posted there, the Who Said It quote, the polls, all that good stuff at yrchat.com. And of course, wherever you are hearing me now, I'll be back next Sunday. I love you guys. I hope you have a happy Easter, and I will see you next time. Bye.